Hi, y'all. So, I love a good energy drink every now and again. Just like every once in a while, I love picking up an energy drink because, sometimes you need the energy. And specifically, I love a good Alani New. Shout out to the Cherry Crush. That is my favorite flavor. You're my girl. I absolutely adore that flavor. And who cares if sometimes I feel like maybe I'm going to have a catastrophic cardiac event after having an energy drink? To me, the caffeine and the way it makes me feel is worth it. And specifically, something I wanted to look into because in the last 5 years, I've seen the energy drink game really change. And I don't know if this is just something I've noticed on my end, but I feel like it's kind of like something that has just been an industry-wide change, in my opinion. Specifically, the market has changed for energy drinks. It used to be dominated by Monster, Red Bull, these companies that were known to be problematic because there were so many different studies about how they would impact your health negatively. And also they were just kind of marketed towards a certain demographic, like gamers or people who were I don't know, it wasn't widespread or mainstream. A lot of people drank Red Bull, but even when I was little, there was connotations with drinking Red Bull that it was bad for you and things like that. But over the last 5 years, I've seen a shift from oh, these are definitely bad products to oh, they're being marketed for health girlies and the girly pops out there who want to just increase their fitness and things like that. And so I thought that change was really interesting from a marketing strategy, but also the way that they're promoted now is that they're healthy for you and that you should drink them before you go and work out or afterwards to kind of promote your metabolism. So I really wanted to look into that and see, are these energy drinks that are being promoted now, the popular mainstream brands that aren't the Red Bulls and the Monsters, the ones that are specifically labeled as health drinks, are they really as healthy as we think they are? And are their claims actually true?
So for this video, I decided to try out 3 of the most popular brands on the market, Prime, Alani Nu, and Celsius, and compare them and try them out. So Alani Nu is that girl for me. I legitimately love this product, so I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible here, but no promises. So the tagline for Alani Nu is literally better for you energy drinks. Their base energy drink products have about 200 milligrams of caffeine and 0 grams of sugar and anywhere from 5 to 15 calories. They honestly don't have that much on their website about what science went into their products and how they can make these claims about their product is a wellness product. They just kind of say that they are better for you, but as far as I can tell, they don't have much scientific evidence to back that up. This brand feels like a case example for branding something that specifically will appeal to a female demographic. All of the designs are really cutesy and fun and girly, and I honestly love the packaging. And there's certainly nothing wrong with that because obviously I'm also a fan. But to claim it is better than a regular energy drink like a Red Bull without evidence just seems a little suspicious to me. I did see somewhere that they do contain B vitamins, but again, this doesn't mean much when your body will most likely push those vitamins out. Ultimately, I think Alani Nu is just a cute brand that does a good job catering to a certain demographic that was put off by energy drink brands at first. So in general, Alani Nu is just a cute little brand that makes energy drinks fun and girly again. But again, I just wish there was a little bit more research on where their claims are coming from.
I honestly love the taste of this. I already knew that though. I knew that this one was already gonna hit it out of the park. I mean, look how cute this packaging is. Come on, you can't really beat that. But I would say the interesting thing is that I don't know if it's maybe I've gotten habituated to it. I don't know if it gives me as much energy as maybe some others.
Okay, oh God. I've honestly been avoiding this brand because of the people attached to it, but in all fairness, this brand has had a meteoric rise in popularity in the last year, so I felt it was appropriate to try it out. So Prime is an energy drink company co-founded by KSI and Logan Paul, the 2 famous YouTubers and part-time fighters, I guess. I will not get into the long and checkered past of these 2, but regardless, they founded this energy brand that has a lot of big name partnerships and is in stores around the world. So like like the other brands I will discuss, it has about 200 milligrams of caffeine, some electrolytes, and 0 milligrams of sugar, grams of sugar. They also have some varied health claims, but like Alani knew, these claims are not substantiated in any way. Their About page on their website is suspiciously lacking in any information. The main thing with this energy brand is that they are mainly marketed to children, and it has gotten so bad that the FDA has been asked to step in and investigate. So we will discuss the level of caffeine consumption and the negative consequences, but in general, for an adult, consuming this level of caffeine is extreme. The normal daily limit for an adult is about 400 milligrams, and that is an absolute limit per day. So imagine ingesting half of your daily limit in just one sitting. For an adult, that can have negative consequences, but for a child, that can be catastrophic. Children have reported having heart palpitations, insomnia, digestive issues, and other medical ailments after ingesting Prime. Now, although Logan Paul and KSI are not responsible personally for children buying and drinking Prime, and that responsibility should come down to their parents and things like that, I do think that they have to be a bit more mindful of their audience. They know that their main demographic is children, so it would follow that children will be the majority of people that buy your product because they look up to you. So although you cannot control their actions, I think you do have some culpability and should at least use your platform to warn children of the consequences of ingesting that much caffeine. On the contrary, Logan Paul and KSI have defended Prime again and again, and there are so many different news clips of them defending their product, which I understand, but also there are very real health concerns, and instead of making those known, they have just been defending the caffeine content. So for that, I think that they should be a little bit more mindful and kind of represent their product better.
I mean, it tastes fine. It tastes like, I don't know. It tastes like specifically something, but like I can't put my finger on it. It doesn't taste bad, which I was nervous about. It just doesn't really taste like that. I mean, it's really sweet. Like all of these drinks are really sweet, but it tastes like something so specific, like maybe a popsicle. So I guess that's what my thoughts are. I say I'm not going to drink it, but I keep drinking it. So maybe that's like a point in its favor. Maybe I'm just really in need of some caffeine.
So when I was thinking about this video, Celsius was the major brand I was thinking about. They've really exploded in the last few years and are all over the place. Celsius claims that their product has thermogenic properties that help increase metabolism and make your nervous system more active. Unclear what that actually means, but additional claims include Celsius is able to reduce body fat, increase endurance, and provide greater resistance to fatigue. In general, Celsius is supposed to help improve your work and help you achieve your fitness goals. So on their website, Celsius lists these 6 different studies that they claim were conducted by rigorous research institutions that prove their claims. And in all honesty, I did not delve deeply into all 6 of the studies, but I did look into the study done by the Ohio group where the effects on metabolic rate were compared for Celsius to Diet Coke. And by all accounts, they actually found statistically significant differences in metabolic rate when an individual ingested Celsius versus Diet Coke. I was also curious to see if this research was funded by Celsius, but according to the research paper, there were no conflicts of interest and nothing to disclose, meaning it was a legit study not funded by Celsius. The one other thing to note is that this research couldn't comment on the body composition over time, but rather just mentions metabolic increases. So Celsius's claims are actually pretty legit, which is interesting because it isn't often that these companies come with receipts like this. In addition to their energy drinks, they also have different versions of their energy and other products that claim to help not only with energy and metabolism, but things like increasing immune system functioning, reducing inflammation, and increasing electrolyte balance. Unlike the original line, there is less information about the validity of these additional claims, so I would need an additional research or research studies to believe those claims about those other products. And maybe they're working on those, but I just can't say with any certainty that those claims are true. They also have claims that their products have vitamins in them, like vitamin C and B, like Alani Nu and like Prime, which is great, but honestly, most of those vitamins, like I mentioned, will probably be flushed out of your system anyway, so that really doesn't appeal to me. Either way, I do appreciate the transparency from this company about where the claims are coming from, and for that, I would give this company a seal of approval. It's not often, like I said, that companies come with their own studies and their own research, so that to me proves some legitimacy to these claims.
Hopefully, I've never tried this flavor before, but hopefully this gives me some kind of energy and life this morning. Cheers.
Ooh, that's tasty. Oh, I like that. I like this flavor. Oh, it's gonna give me some energy for this morning, and then I'm gonna use the other half to go for a run. So I love this flavor. Celsius always kind of hits also, so. Right. So those were 3 of the main popular brands that are marketed as these healthy energy drinks. And that was what I thought about each one of them. So let's talk about now the outcomes of drinking these caffeinated beverages and these caffeinated drinks. So like I briefly mentioned before, there are some real negative health outcomes with drinking energy drinks, specifically if you're starting to drink them daily. And to put it in perspective, one of these energy drinks has 200 milligrams of caffeine on the regular. Sometimes it can go up to 300, even 400 milligrams of caffeine. And like I said, the daily amount that you should have, the daily recommended amount of caffeine per day for an adult is 400 milligrams. And again, to put it in perspective, 200 milligrams of caffeine or one of those energy drinks is the equivalent of 2 cups of coffee or 2 Red Bulls, which is kind of extreme if you think about it. So excessive caffeine consumption, like drinking a few of these energy drinks, because I want to make it clear that people are drinking one a day, but some people are drinking multiple of these energy drinks a day because they're just not thinking. They taste good, they are low in calories, they're just not thinking about the ramifications of the caffeine. So excessive caffeine consumption can cause a multitude of adverse health outcomes, including increased anxiety, insomnia, heart palpitations, tremors, digestive upset, and more. Additionally, the long-term usage of energy drinks can increase risk of cardiovascular events such as heart attacks. In addition, caffeine is an addictive substance, and this is something I don't think people are talking quite enough about when they're talking about energy drinks. I mean, in certain spheres they are, but like, caffeine is an addictive substance. You can get hooked on it really easily. I mean, just look at people who drink coffee, who are habitual coffee drinkers in the morning. Going one day without their coffee causes them to have extreme headaches, and they need to have that caffeine fill. Now imagine that, which has a lot less milligrams of caffeine compared to if you're drinking an energy drink on the regular, your body is craving physically that caffeine hit. And so people become really, really irritated when they're not able to have their energy drinks, or they're not able to satiate that caffeine that they're trying and their body craves and wants physically. So they go through different types of withdrawal, and dependence is a real side effect of continuous use of these energy drinks. In addition to all of these physical health outcomes with drinking energy drinks, it's also important to note that they're not regulated as well as maybe they should be. Like I mentioned previously, Celsius is FDA approved, but I didn't see any kind of approval for Alani Nu or Prime or any other energy drinks. It's kind of like when you have a vitamin, those don't have to go through FDA approval and testing and things like that. I mean, it just isn't like that. But they're claiming to do these things and helping you with these different properties, and they have so much caffeine in it that them not being regulated is a real issue, that they could potentially cause these negative health outcomes, and there is no approval from the FDA, which is something you just want to keep in mind, that they're not as well regulated as maybe some other brands or some other kind of different health products are. So I tell you all of this, and I really wanted to do this just to kind of make everybody aware, kind of like a consumer PSA, you know, because I will probably continue to drink Alani Nus. Heck, I know I will, because I think they taste good. But I think it's important for us all to realize that they aren't just healthy, and they're not like the same as drinking a non-caffeinated drink. They have a lot of a very potentially in large quantities harmful chemical. Caffeine can be, like we mentioned, very adverse for a person's overall health in the short term and in the long term. And I think now that they're becoming more and more popular, so like I mentioned, they are in the short term, there are some adverse health outcomes, but we're just at the very beginnings of figuring out in the long term what these energy drinks do to us and do to our body. Because even though Monster and Red Bull have been out for a very long time, we don't really know what it means for like people who are very young. Like Prime is marketed towards young kids, so is like a lot of these, and what it means for young kids to be drinking that much caffeine over a long extended period of time. Now you can extend that to coffee and other caffeinated caffeinated beverages as well. I'm not saying that the energy drink industry is the only one causing this like negative outcomes with caffeine related to caffeine. But I would just say that it's always important to understand how much caffeine you're putting into your body. It's like those math problems, you know, it's like everything in moderation and everything can be okay, except in high doses, something can be fatal. Like water can be fatal for a person if you drink too much of it. But the same thing can happen with caffeine. It's just important to make sure that you're regulating how much you're putting in your body. And if you're a teenager or an adolescent, you should really be concerned and be mindful of what you're putting into your body, because even as an adult, having 400 milligrams is like an extreme amount of caffeine. So drinking just one of these is half of the daily recommended dosage. And for a teen, it's even more important to know how much is going into your body because it affects you more. So that's what I would say. It's not to fearmonger or say you shouldn't drink these drinks. It's always just to be mindful and regulate what's going into your body. And that's what I will continue to do because I like the taste of these and I like the energy they provide. But with that being said, that is all I have for you. I really hope you enjoyed and I hope to see you in the next one.